The 2019 NBA offseason is finally here. Do you want to know where the top NBA free agents will land? Well, this video, I'm going to give you my prediction on which teams are going to land the top 20 unrestricted free agents when the NBA offseason carousel comes to an end. Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now, if you're looking for passionate and in-depth analysis on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, tap that notification bell so that you'll be updated when new episodes drop every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Alright, so before we get started, do me a favor, go down to the comment section below. Let me know where you guys think some of the top NBA free agents are going to sign this summer. Here we are, summer of 2019, possibly the best free agent class in NBA history. You've got MVP candidates, all NBA level players, all-star caliber players, everything in between is on the move. But where will they end up? Well, this video, I'm going to give you my prediction on where the top 20 unrestricted free agents, where they're going to end up at the end of the offseason. Let's kick it off with number 20, Ricky Rubio. Rubio is a traditional pass-first point guard that plays defense and has playoff experience. Rubio is exactly what a young team needs. After missing out on not drafting a point guard in the lottery, I think the Phoenix Suns are going to sign Ricky Rubio to a 3-year deal in the $12 to $14 million range. That would give them a solid starting five of Rubio, Devin Booker, Kelly Oubre, DeAndre Ayton, and Dario Saric. Let's go ahead and move on to number 19. Patrick Beverley. Beverley is a tough-minded pit bull from Chicago. Now, recently, his coach from Houston, Roy Rogers, joined Jim Boland's staff with the Chicago Bulls. Now, I know the Bulls just drafted Kobe White in the lottery, but it's my prediction that the Chicago Bulls are going to bring on Patrick Beverley as a mentor, especially in that first year, and they're going to sign Beverley to a 1-year deal in that $12 to $14 million range. Let's go ahead and move right along to number 18, Rudy Gay. Now, the San Antonio Spurs find themselves in a tough financial spot, and they really don't have a way to replace Rudy Gay on the open market. So what I think the Spurs are going to do is just bring back their core, add a healthy DeJounte Murray, and they're just going to run it back. So I'm predicting that the San Antonio Spurs are going to sign Rudy Gay to a 2-year deal in that $10 to $12 million range. Let's move on to number 17, Darren Collison. Collison is a KG vet that last year shot 40% from 3, and the year before that shot 46% from 3, which led the entire league. I think his ability to play on and off the ball is going to be very welcome around that young nucleus with the Boston Celtics. So it's my prediction that the Celtics are going to sign Collison to a 3-year deal in that $8 to $10 million range. Let's move right along to number 16, JJ Redick. Now, everything that I hear, Redick and his family absolutely love the Philadelphia area. The Sixers really need his shooting back immensely. And after 2 back-to-back 1-year deals, I think Redick re-signs with the Sixers, but this time for a 2-year deal in that $10 to $12 million range. Let's move right along to 15, Bojan Bogdanovich. Bogdanovich had a breakout season, and I think teams are going to be fighting for his elite shooting ability. One of those teams, I think, is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. I think they're ready to take that next step, and I think Mark Cuban is going to be looking to put 3 European players together in Doncic, Porzingis, and Bogdanovich. I'm expecting the Mavs to sign Bojan to a 4-year deal in that $15 to $18 million range. Here we are, 14, Harrison Barnes. Now, the Sacramento Kings found themselves with tons of cap space, but I don't think they're going to get any max free agents. And when Harrison Barnes opted out of his $25 million contract, I think he did that so that he could get a long-term deal. So it's my prediction that the Sacramento Kings will re-sign Harrison Barnes on a 3-year deal where the starting salary will begin in the $18 to $20 million range. Let's jump right over to number 13, Julius Randle. I think that with the Pelicans just drafting Zion Williamson, Randle's time is all but over in New Orleans. I think he's going to take his talents up to the Big Apple, team up with Zion's old college teammate, RJ Barrett, and they're going to form one of the best young cores in the NBA. So I'm expecting the New York Knicks to sign Julius Randle to a 4-year deal where the starting salary begins between that $15 to $20 million range. Now, I'm going to be doing a video soon on my top teams that have players 25 and under on it. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, Tap that notification bell so when that video drops, you'll be updated. Now let's go ahead and slide over to number 12, Nikola Vucevic. Now Vucevic had a breakout season this year as he became a first-time All-Star. Unfortunately, Vucevic kind of disappeared when the playoffs came. I think Vucevic is going to be looking to upgrade and join a better organization that has a better coach and better roster around him. So it's my prediction that Vucevic is going to sign a 3-year deal starting in that $20 to $25 million range, and he's going to do that with the Boston Celtics, who are going to be looking to replace what they're losing with Al Horford. Now, speaking of Al Horford, let's move to number 11. Al Horford recently opted out of his $30 million deal with the Boston Celtics, which was totally a surprise to me. But it's clear, however, that he's looking for a multi-year contract. He was a great mentor for that young Boston team, and I think that's the same type of role he's going to find himself when he joins his new team in LA. Not with the Lakers. I think Al's going to join with the Los Angeles Clippers. I think the Clippers will sign Al Horford to a 3-year deal with the starting salary in that $20 to $25 million range. That's going to be tough. Okay, so now we're down to the top 10, and this is where the big names start to come off the board. So coming in at number 10, DeMarcus Cousins. Now, Cousins isn't a star anymore, but he's still a big name. And unfortunately, after his failed attempt to hop on that Warrior bandwagon to get a title last year, I think DeMarcus Cousins still has a lot to prove. Remember, he got injured again. I don't think Cousins is going to get those max offers that he so desperately wants. So I think this may be another year for him to prove himself that number 1, he can be healthy, but number 2, he can get close to being what he used to be. So it's my prediction that DeMarcus Cousins is going to re-sign with the Golden State Warriors on a 1-year deal for that $5 to $6 million range. Now, here we are, number 9, Tobias Harris. Now, after coming within inches of a Game 7 victory over the Toronto Raptors, I'm expecting Tobias Harris to look at the Philadelphia 76ers and realize the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I don't think Tobias is going to be able to go out in the open market and get a max offer. So I'm predicting that Tobias Harris will re-sign with the Philadelphia 76ers for a slightly below max contract, something starting around a 4-year deal where the contract begins in that $25 to $30 million range. Okay, jumping over to number 8, Chris Middleton. Now, Middleton opted out of his $13 million deal, and a lot of people thought that was so that he could test free agency. I didn't see it like that. I think Chris Middleton made a very smart business move as he's looking for a long-term deal. I think he's just going to run it back with the Bucks. I mean, you got to realize they were the number 1 seed in the East last year. So I'm predicting that Chris Middleton is going to re-sign on a deal similar to Tobias Harris, a 4-year deal starting around that $25 to $30 million range. Now, some may say that that's overpaying for Chris Middleton, but you got to realize the Milwaukee Bucks, they're up against the cap. They don't have the ability to go out there and to bring in a player on Chris Middleton's level. He was an all-star last year. So bringing Chris Middleton back, I think, is a very smart business move for the Bucks, and I think they're going to be one of the top teams in the East yet again. Moving right along to number 7, DeAngelo Russell. Now, DeAngelo Russell is the only restricted free agent I put on this list. But the question is, how long will he remain a restricted free agent? By all the reports that I'm hearing, the Brooklyn Nets have their sights set on bigger fish. If that's the case, who may be interested in DeAngelo Russell? Well, let's go back. A couple years ago, DeAngelo Russell was asked to name his all-time starting 5 if he had to include himself on that list. He named 4 guys: Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Now, we know Jordan and Russell's days are long gone. So it's my prediction that DeAngelo Russell, now given the opportunity, is going to go to the Los Angeles Lakers, team up with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, forming the best big 3 in the game. And I think he's going to do that on a slightly below max contract level. I'm predicting that the Lakers are going to offer a 4-year deal starting in the range of $20 to $24 million. Laker Nation, Showtime is back. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump on to number 6. Now, number 6 is Kemba Walker. Now, recently, Kemba Walker came out and publicly let it be known that he's willing to take less than the Supermax. Now, personally, I don't think that's the way that you should negotiate financially. But I also don't think that the Charlotte Hornets are the best fit for him from a basketball standpoint. But hey, you can't knock Kemba for being loyal to the Charlotte Hornets. I commend him for that. With that said, I think Kemba Walker's going to re-sign with the Charlotte Hornets for less than the Supermax, but I think he will get the full max, which is a 5-year deal, $32.7 million starting price. Best of luck to you, Kemba. Get that bag. All right, so we're down to the last 5. And coming in at number 5 is Jimmy Butler. Now, Butler was the hardest one for me to predict. And it's really because he's got a lot of options, but there's really no perfect fit out there. I mean, you've heard about him being traded to Houston. You've heard about him with the Lakers, with the Knicks, just all over the place. I think when Butler kind of sits back and looks at things, I think he's going to look at himself, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and JJ Redick all coming back to the Sixers gives them one of the best starting fives in the entire league. They came this close to making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think that Jimmy Butler's going to re-sign with the Philadelphia 76ers on a full max, a 5-year deal starting at $32.7 million. Okay, now we're at number 4, Klay Thompson. And man, you got to feel bad for Klay. I mean, the last time we saw Klay, he was running down the hallway, testing that knee out, trying to get back into the game, showing the true heart of a warrior, pun intended. But to me, Golden State and Klay Thompson, it's just the perfect situation. It's the perfect fit. And I think that as they get ready to move into that new arena in San Francisco, where he will have a statue out front one day, I think that's the exact reason why the Golden State Warriors should and will offer him a full 5-year max offer starting at $32.7 million. Okay, now we're down to the last 3, the top 3. Only the superstars are left. So to kick it off with number 3, Kyrie Irving. Now listen, there's no secret that Kyrie Irving wants out of Boston. It's also no secret that he wants to play in New York. So the only real question is, what borough does he want to play for in New York? Well, I think his recent signing with Roc Nation Sports and former Nets owner Jay-Z, I think that was a telling sign of where he wants to play next. So I'm predicting that Kyrie Irving is going to make a monumental choice of choosing the Brooklyn Nets over the New York Knicks, and as he signs a full 4-year deal starting at $32.7 million. Wow, how times have changed. Okay, number 2, Kevin Durant. Now listen, Achilles injuries are one of the worst injuries that you could suffer as an athlete. And I think because there's not a lot of good examples of players being able to regain their old form, I don't think Kevin Durant's going to rush this. I'm expecting Durant to miss the entire next season, work as hard as he can to get as close as possible to what he was before this injury, and I expect him to come back in the 2021 season. Now, I think it's kind of telling that he decided to start his rehab in New York and not in Golden State. With that being said, we also have to remember that Kevin Durant is the biggest star that Roc Nation has. Now, just like their counterparts, Clutch Sports, who orchestrated their top 2 players to join the same team in a large market, I expect Roc Nation to do the same thing. And I'm expecting Kevin Durant to join Kyrie Irving with the Brooklyn Nets, and I expect Kevin Durant's going to sign a full 4-year max offer starting at $38 million. Woo, that's going to be a dynamic duo. And then there was one, Kawhi Leonard, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, the 2-time Finals MVP. Kawhi Leonard has proven that wherever he goes, he makes that team instantly a bona fide contender. He also proved that he doesn't need another superstar alongside him to win a championship. To stay or not to stay? Now that is the question. Unlike Paul George, I don't think he's going to renege on where he said he wanted to go. I think Kawhi Leonard's going to go to LA. The question is, which team in LA? Now, as a Laker fan, I would love to say it was the Lakers, but I think Kawhi Leonard is going to team up with Steve Ballmer, Jerry West, Doc Rivers, and the LA Clippers, forming possibly the LA Hallway Series. I'm expecting Kawhi Leonard to sign a full 4-year max offer starting at $32.7 million. Listen, this thing is about to be bananas. The 2019 free agency class is here. It's the best one in NBA history. People are going to be moving all over the place. I can't wait for it to start. June 30th, 6 p.m. Tune in, because everywhere, every notification is going to be an update on who decided to meet with who decided to choose to go where, who decided to team up with another player. It's going to be crazy. Listen, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, tap that like button, hit that notification so that you can stay updated as I keep you posted on all of the latest NBA and college basketball news.